Hello, everybody. Remy is just, of course, as always, going crazy as we start. So, that's just how these things happen. So I definitely know that Sue's there.
Yes.
Hi, Sue. I'm trying to figure this out because I actually have this on my phone right now. I'm trying to see why it's not playing. It should be. Can everyone hear us? Can you see us? There we go. Awesome. Yeah, so please forgive Remy. He's a bit excitable at the moment. We just had a really random person come and
knock on the door
and say that, have we seen a rope that he lost down there? And I'm like, no. So that was interesting.
Look a bit. Can you pass me the control for the light?
Yes.
Because if you switch it over.
Which one? This one?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
That one's a bit brighter.
There you go. It looks so dark and far away now. So that's good.
Hello, Sue.
Hello, Sue. Hello, bro.
Is that Bane?
I don't know. So, hi, Bane. Yeah. Welcome. So it's been an interesting week.
Yes.
Please forgive the excitable Remy. He was like completely calm.
He was fine. Oh yeah, you were just in the middle of explaining this person.
Yeah, so this random person comes up and knocks on the door and it's like, oh, I've lost a rope down there. And it's like, okay. Like, yeah, no, we haven't seen it. So that was weird.
Hello, Jen.
Hi, Jen. So that was pretty weird. There's been a lot of activity here today, which is kind of weird because I didn't expect there to be, because in town today is the Oktober Festival.
Yeah.
So I really didn't expect that we would have people like in and out, but I mean, like,
we didn't expect. We've never had people in and out so far.
Hi, Eric. Thank you. Yeah. So, and there were a couple of gunshots this morning. So obviously, because it was hunting season. But yeah, it was just really random. This weird person came and asked, if we'd seen his rope. So.
Yeah, I mean, we don't usually, like, we've had. Okay, sounds good, Rich.
Hi, Rich. Thank you.
We've pretty much never had anybody down here since we've moved the camper. Ow.
Yeah, to where we are.
Thank you, Remy. You're gonna have to go outside if you're not.
Yeah, you're gonna go outside if you're not jump ahead. Remy.
Enough.
Enough.
Every time we do this.
Every time. I don't know what it is.
Yes, that's you. You're tearing everything down.
Yeah.
But we haven't actually. The closest we've had to somebody coming in was somebody tried to come down the trail, like where we've cleared, with their ATV.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and they literally got to like where they could see the camper and the truck, and then they turned around.
We'd have a little bit more in terms of people sort of stopping when we were upright at the road.
Yeah,
which makes sense, and actually we're pretty happy about that because we've met a few good people that way.
Actually, we're going to have it's kind of cool. We're going to have Thanksgiving dinner with them next weekend. We're actually cooking Thanksgiving dinner in their kitchen.
Partially due to giving him an emergency call because the truck got stuck in the mud. On the way out. So
yeah, which is really frustrating. So like, I mean, as you know, like when we moved the camper, it was really dry. So that was cool. We were able to get in no problem. And we were in and out a couple of times, and then we had like 3 or 4 days of like rain.
Yeah.
And not even halfway out, and the truck just sunk right in. It was like up to halfway up the wheel.
Yeah.
And we just could not get it out for love or money. So we ended up having to call and ask someone to come and tow us out. So he did. And so we're going there next Sunday to cook them Thanksgiving dinner, but we're going to do a South African dish. So
yes, we are. But also, it's not just them that's going to be there for Thanksgiving. It's somebody else who we met along the road that's going to be there, and he's actually technically going to be as close as it gets right now to having a neighbor.
Yeah,
out here they're about a kilometer up the road.
No, they're about 3 or 4 kilometers.
Are they that far?
They're that far, yeah. So
yeah, I suppose because we don't get that far when we walk down the road.
We stop at the river, but he goes on through that river.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like he's pretty much doing the same thing. They're building their little
getaway,
I guess it is. He has spent apparently an absolute fortune putting in a road and things like that.
Yeah.
Which, we didn't want to do, and we were so far, touch wood, have not had to resort to that. Down the road, we will, because at the moment there's a lot of bog. There's a lot of areas that are still low lying that when it rains, it gets pretty mushy, as we know. We're now actually frustratingly parking the truck like right at the road, and then we are sort of walking in. So anything that we buy, or cans of gas or propane tanks and stuff like that, we have to schlep them in on foot, which
isn't too far,
it's
but it's annoying.
It's annoying, especially when you got a wayward dog who just wants to go off in every other direction. But we have found some good tricks to help with that, so that's good. But yeah, and earlier this week was my birthday, so thank you very much to everyone who messaged and posted on my Facebook and things like that for my birthday, which was on Wednesday. And I would like to give a shout out to Mike, who sent us a little bit of extra money. And so we were actually able to, if you saw our story, we were able to buy some nice steaks. And so we had steaks for dinner on Wednesday, which was one of
very nice.
My absolute favorite meal. I love steak.
Yes.
Really like steak.
Yeah, and it's a good, well, really anything is a good change up right now. But I mean, we basically, our weeks alternate between chili and the same pasta sauce, and once in a while we do a veggie stew.
Yeah.
And even tonight we're going back to the chili after we do this. So yeah, but getting that bit of a break in there was really quite nice. So.
The other thing we've done recently just to break it up was Swedish meatballs. So that was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice, and we can do that again for sure. Because you're not a huge fan of chili. You're okay with it, but I really quite like chili. But
10 months of chili, like literally, guys, like 10 months of the sort of same meal
back and forth. And part of the reason that we do it. Oh, Sue's got a question.
Oh,
has your garden produced stuff for you to get?
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. There are 5-ish peppers.
There's a few more, I think, spreading than that. Hey, no, have your bacon lobster. Bacon lobster is not for us. That's for him.
Yes, that's a bacon lobster. Apparently, I don't know.
But he's more interested in my hand right now. No, it hasn't. There are some peppers developing in there. We actually sort of salvaged, because from earlier videos will have shown that there was some real issue with the greenhouse.
Come here. Come on. Go there.
Over here. He's not going to stay over there.
No, I know.
So with the greenhouse being blown over and that sort of stuff, and we sort of thought the frame wasn't going to be salvageable, but it was.
Most of it.
So when was that? Yesterday.
One section of it is damaged.
You are such a drama queen,
and you've been absolutely fine until like now.
Diva.
Tell me about it. So no, unfortunately, no, definitely not enough food to sustain us through winter. It'll last us about a week, if that. Yeah, and it's only like a couple of peppers, so there's only so much you can do with peppers. Enough, or you going outside?
Yeah, I'm gonna take you outside in a second.
Yeah, you see, look, you're embarrassing yourself in front of all these people.
Oh, now you're all
affectionate. But yeah, so no, unfortunately not. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you.
We are, which is a bit disappointing. I mean, obviously, but I mean, with how much work we've had to do just to sort of get to where we are, and get in there, it's the focus has been on sort of doing that.
Yeah,
and we know that next year will be a lot better because we won't be having to spend, well, literally, I mean, like we spent now 5, nearly 6 months working on clearing this trail and getting where we are. No, exactly. And I mean, it was interesting because I came across a channel, and the guy said, the thing is like with homesteading, you want to do everything all at once, and you have all these plans to get all these things in. Thank you, Joan. Nice to see you here. You get all these ideas, and I want to do a garden, and I want to do chickens, and I want to do goats and sheep and geese and ducks and cows, and you name it, everything.
Okay. I'm gonna take him.
Okay, we're just gonna put him outside. Give us a sec. But what we really need to focus on is like systems and making sure that we are set up for ourselves, right? So that we are, we have water and heat and those sort of things. And then once those are sort of set, then we can start worrying more about gardens and things like that, which is, I mean, totally fair and totally a really good, a good way and method of going through it and sort of planning things out, is sort of like spending your time focused on survival, basically the basics, and then worrying about adding on different responsibilities, things like gardens and animals and things like that. Much as I would like to have fresh eggs all the time,
Yes.
We actually bought our first batch of eggs this week, which we haven't bought any eggs this year. That was weird.
Yeah.
As well, it was like.
Well, I mean, we've sort of gotten used to, and that goes back to the whole alternating meals and stuff. We've kind of, we've just kind of gotten used to working with what we can. There was a lot of time there where, especially when we first moved out here, before we had kind of gotten into sort of the groove of using the generator and that sort of thing, because we don't run the generator 24/7.
Yeah.
We just sort of use it as we need it. So that means that the fridge isn't actually plugged in. It still remains pretty cold.
Yeah.
Throughout stuff, but the freezer's not great for storing things.
No.
We learned that pretty early on. And so we've kind of gotten used to sort of, well, what can we have that doesn't spoil too quickly or things like that in the fridge for right now. And I mean, as time goes on, we'll have better alternatives to that. But for right now, we've just been kind of getting what we need.
Yeah. As
opposed to the extras and that sort of thing.
So, hi, Frankie.
Hello.
So talking of generator, how is the solar going? So we're actually, that's what we're running on right now.
Yeah.
So we basically literally just turned off the generator because we just topped it up. And like it's using a bit more power because we're running your laptop, Sandy's laptop, with the starting. But it's working really well. I mean, like, so during the day, we don't get a ton of charge. Like right now, the sun's going down. The solar panel's only providing 1 watt. Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for joining us. And And so, yeah, it's working pretty well. In like the peak of the day, we're getting about 70 to 80 watts at most out of the one panel. Now, it would be great if we
love you too.
We love you too. We definitely obviously need more of those.
But actually, we were just talking before we started the live because I went to. He's gone outside. He was being unruly in here. So when he comes back in, we will show him on. But he needs to take a bit of a break for the moment. We were just talking before we started about how much gas we've been saving on using the generator since we got this, because we have 2 canisters that we fill up at the gas station each time. And I mean, when we first got the generator, we were going through one of those canisters probably every 2 days, you think?
Yeah, for sure. It was lasting 2 days.
Yeah. And the one that I and it's not even quite finished yet. How many days ago did we buy that? 4?
No, there was, today's Saturday, so 4 days.
Yeah, so 4 days ago, and we still have a whole other tank of gas to fill up in there. So, I mean, our gas usage has gone way, way down.
Which is awesome because, I mean, like, and that was the big thing is like, we don't need to run a ton of things. Like, obviously it's nice to have the fridge cold and things like that. But we basically right now are using the generator for topping up the solar battery, the solar generator.
And I mean, technically we don't even really need it for that if we let it run for a while, but we do it just because it's faster.
For sure. And I mean, and again, the thing is like we're not getting really enough charge. When we, like, in the middle of the day, we actually get enough charge that it's adding to the charge with the Starlink running.
Yeah.
Whereas in the morning and the afternoon, we're not. So, thank you. I don't know who that is, but thank you.
Thank you. And Frankie, we would if we could.
Yes. Feel free to bring us more if you want, though. But yeah, so I mean, like during the middle of the day when the sun's the hottest, and we put the panel up on the roof of the camper, so it is actually able to sort of keep up with what the hi Simon. The solar panel is able to sort of keep up with what the Starlink is using. But I mean, really, we need to do another 2 panels on there, and we need to be able to ship them with the sun, which we currently can't do. So ultimately, yes, that'll work better. And really, the only thing we need the sort of internal power of the camper, so that's what the generator runs, is if I run my computer. So when I'm doing editing for YouTube, just because my computer is a power hog and it takes a lot, and I don't have a laptop that runs on a battery.
We had a laptop.
We
technically still do.
Yeah.
And that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird, honestly, because it was working all the way, and then we left Calgary.
I used to use it in Calgary all the time. Like, it had actually sort of, when I was doing sort of more my 3D printing and stuff, it had sort of taken over for my Mac, just because it had a bit more space on it and that sort of thing. And so it was easier to use for that. And we were in the hotel on the way here, and I went to turn it on, and the screen was just black.
Yeah.
So, and it hasn't come on since then. So we've still got to hook it up to your computer and see
if it's just the graphics card. But yeah, so that's kind of frustrating because I mean, like, I would love to be able to type more.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, is the battery. I mean, this Mac is pretty old. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather.
It's this Mac is, I think, I had this when I was in school. So this Mac is like 10, 12 something year, and even more than that. I think it's like 13 years old or something. So the battery's fried on it, so it has to be plugged in order to use it, which is why the other laptop would have been good.
Yeah,
but
yeah, but unfortunately it died, and yeah, because I really want to I started sort of blogging our journey before we even left Calgary, and so I'd like to sort of continue that and sort of doing a blog for that. So yes, 3 or 4 years ago. Thank you. You know. Yeah, definitely not 21 anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, like the this little battery pack, the All Powers, has been amazing.
Yeah,
because it really does save us a crap load of gas.
Yeah.
So it was actually what I was saying was that the reason why we actually run the generator besides my computer is the fridge for a little bit, but also for internal lights in here. So right now we're using a ring light, which is also running with the solar battery, but also for the furnace.
No, though actually this ring light can run off of the camper.
The camper battery. But I mean, like, we need to replace those batteries because they are garbage and they're not holding a charge. The minute
Not very well, no.
Not at all. They're dropping down from full charge to 7 volts right away when we turn off the generator. So they are fried, and we kind of knew that was an issue. And so that's hopefully something we can replace soon, because it's a bit frustrating. I mean, like, we don't mind sitting in semi-darkness. It's not that bad.
No,
in the evenings. But yeah, it would be nice to at least have the batteries be able to run the furnace when we do need it at the moment. But yeah, it's been a really good gift for us. It was really has been a godsend. I mean, like, I would go with more bigger ones down the road. I mean,
well, and I mean, as we get further in on stuff here, we are going to lean into more solar stuff in general. Like, I think we'd ideally like to be pretty much reliant on solar altogether.
Yeah, solar and wind. I mean, like, are the two things. I mean, like, there's not a wind, but I mean, like, generally speaking, there's usually a wind here almost every single day of sorts, whether it be strong or not. But
there's a bit of something.
There's a bit, I mean, like, this morning there was frost. It was cold. It was -1 last night overnight. So that wasn't great.
He wants to come back in.
That would be the dog stomping on the doorstep to tell us that he's ready to come in. So hopefully he's.
Oh, you're just taunting the cat, are you?
Oh, he's just taunting the cat. Never mind.
Come on.
At the moment, thank you, Sue. Good question. Well, I mean, most people are in Canada, so. Oh, hi, Dustin. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So most people in Canada, yes, via Interac or via PayPal. We were going to set up a GoFundMe, but I'm not sure exactly if that's something we want to do. If we want to go that route. No,
this is not for you.
You cannot drink beer.
I know, you really, really are wanting this.
Yes, but you're not high enough up on the food chain to have beer. Sorry, Benny. It's not a good idea. He really does like the taste of it, though, because he's trying to lick your mustache. But yeah, so I mean,
yes, I know.
PayPal, all the usual ways, PayPal and Interac if you're in Canada, because those are the most immediate, and we're just sort of like trying to whittle away at our wish list. Of course, I have put these items on our wish list, and like I said, I mean, like, our wish list is really a sort of combination of like things we need and things we'd like, and stuff we would like down the road. Sarah, be careful, because he's going to come to your place so that you can babysit him, because he's just, I don't know why he gets so excitable when we sit.
Whenever we do live, he just goes nuts, and I don't know if maybe it's because I don't usually sit here.
Yeah,
I think he knows something's up.
So
oh my goodness, Remy,
can you stop now, please? Where's your toy? Go play with your toy. No. Oh
yes.
he's very excited.
And he's also he's probably gotten himself worked up because the cat's in heat again.
Again, yes. Actually, no. Sandy usually sits at the table.
At the table over there.
He just finds it more comfortable. I'm just used to sitting here because I used to be able to sort of turn and like stretch my legs out, but his energy is beyond Santa's little helper, and then until it's not. But yeah,
I know
he has this habit of getting very, 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 very excited, and it's really hard in such a small space because there's nowhere for him to go. There's nowhere for us to go. And it's like he sort of almost gets the zoomies, but not quite. And then, like right now, he just doesn't know what to do with himself.
No.
Just cross your arms and try and see. No, stop that.
I know.
Are you going to get the cat spayed? Yes.
Potentially,
yes.
We haven't really found a vet in town or anything yet. It's going to be a bit of a trek.
It's a bit of a trek to get there. The closest one, I believe, is in Timmins. And so, it's a bit of a trek to get there, drop her off, and then have to go back the next day or the day after. I think they said 2 days or something like that. So, yes, we will. But we're kind of hoping as well that this is the last one for the year because...
Yeah, I think when I looked it up, it usually comes to an end. I think they said October, actually. I can't quite remember.
Daddy's tired.
It's, oh, God.
Daddy's tired.
And actually, to be honest, she's not too bad. She just gets very affectionate.
Overly affectionate?
Yes. But it's more what she does to this guy. Like, he just goes nuts. And I'm not even going to say what he sometimes is trying to do to her.
Yeah.
But,
Stop it.
But yeah, it's every time she goes into heat gets a little bit tedious. And I mean, she's kind of funny when she does because she talks an awful lot.
She does, yeah. Like this morning was kind of funny because you were still sleeping and I was out here drinking my coffee. And she's at the door and she wants to go out, but she doesn't want to go out because she's all like, I mean, for lack of a better word, she's all horny. I mean, she's acting like she's horny. And I'm ignoring her and I'm checking message on my phone and I'm like, I literally heard her say, hello, hello. And I looked at her and I said, hello. And then she's like, meow, like she wants to go out the door. So I go and I open the door, and then she just looks at the door. And I'm like, okay, do you want to go out? And then she's like, just sat there.
Yeah.
And so I closed the door. And then I came back and sat down. And then she's like, meow, I want to go out. And I'm like, oh. So anyway, yeah, she's very affectionate. She's all over everything and everyone.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's the joys of a cat, Well, I didn't say that for the record. I did not say that. So,
but yeah, she does get a bit much. Actually, though, we had the same last night because I was in bed and she came in to the bedroom. She said, meow. I said, what? She said, meow. I said, what? She said, meow. Meow. I said, what? And this went on for quite some time. And then she just sort of walked away. But what's happening with the
lean-to edition? So we're not in place yet. So we still got a little ways to go.
We were actually just out there today.
But we're out there today. Basically, so if you remember where the greenhouse originally was, that area is quite clear. We sort of expanded that in the last week. And cut down a bunch more trees so that we can scoot the camper in. It's going to be a little tricky in that, firstly, the forecast changed just a short while ago, and I haven't really had time to process that. We were only supposed to get rain for like a few hours tomorrow, and now there's rain from tomorrow till Thursday.
No, it's already changed again since then. There's a day off from it too, so yeah.
But the problem is right now, we can't actually drive the truck in because there's so much mud. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing what's called a corduroy road. If anyone is not familiar with that, basically, we're just going to take pieces of wood, tree trunks, basically, that we've cut down and lay them across perpendicular to the direction of travel, so that we can get the truck in and out. But we actually have a couple of spots that we have to do that going into the property as well. Sorry, I'm pointing like you guys know which way we're facing. So the property is that way and the road is that way, which looks really weird because I'm seeing this in reverse.
Yes.
Yeah, so so we've got a little ways to go that way, but we have been clearing and we have been chopping down trees there, and preparing the spot for that.
Yeah.
Well,
we do
exactly, and I mean, like ideally, the logs that we use for the corduroy road should be bigger, because that would obviously be more secure. But we simply don't have that. Any larger trees and stuff like that, we're trying to reserve for when we actually build a cabin, and we will be using some of those to build this this lean-to or this heat room or whatever you want to call it addition. But yeah, clearing the space is being paramount right now. We are definitely working on doing that and trying to open up as much as possible for where the camper is going to go and make sure that that can safely get in there. So we want to get that in there quickly, obviously. So we've been working pretty hard at making that happen, so that we can get that in there pretty soon. Because yeah, we just don't know what the weather's going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but that's not a bad question at all. Thank you. We're itching to get started on it, because we want to be able to settle in and go, okay, well, this is the big project for the year, and also want to make sure that we can secure the camper and things like that, because we just want to be settled and stop with this constant clearing things, so that we can just sort of like, okay, we can breathe for a second or two. I mean, and we know that there's going to be a constant sort of stream of things we have to do. It's going to be one of those things that's just never going to end.
Yeah.
But we just kind of want this part to be done so we can settle in.
Yes.
And get ourselves ready for winter and stuff. I'm assuming you want some of that.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
So we were able to splurge on beer, thanks to someone's kind birthday gift.
Yes, this is a rarity for us at this point.
Very much a rarity. It's going straight to my head too. Why are you looking at my
Will we get the camper in? Will the camper be placed?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Unless you consider -1 winter. But yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually, in the scheme of things, and especially considering where we started off, we're really quite close to the property.
Yeah.
Now, well, I mean, we're right on the property line pretty much at this point, and in terms of where the camper is currently parked. And really, it's only maybe 200 feet now.
Yeah.
To the actual spot where we want to park the camper, as opposed to the head of the property, which is like maybe 100 feet, not even.
Yeah, and again, like we said, I mean, getting in where we are, we've had so much clearing that we've had to do basically from scratch. We've done most of that on that side, so we've done most of that going into.
He needs something to drink.
That is not alcoholic. So there really is a lot less work to do going into the property than we have done so far, by a long shot, like long shot. It's kind of weird because, when we were first walking in, every time we walked in, it felt like a schlep. It felt like it was this ridiculously never-ending long walk to get in there, and now it's like, oh.
And it was funny because there was one time I went into the property and you timed me coming in and out, and it was about 8 minutes total, in and out, which doesn't seem like a lot.
No,
but it always felt like a lot. I mean, a 4-minute walk, but now it doesn't take anywhere near that long anyway, since we played, because that was when we were on that just sort of the walking path as opposed to the cleared path now. So yeah,
and it's kind of funny to go back and sort of look at those walks along there, and like look at the footage and just see how much stuff, how much wood there was there.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is that because we cut down so many of those trees, they will give small firewood, which is kind of handy because they're all dried, right? They've all been out there all year, plus other firewood that we have. Although we are still considering like maybe ordering a like a cord or two of firewood as well.
Potentially, but we also have the whole. So this land was used for logging before we bought it, long before we bought it, and so there are still some piles left over from when logging was happening, and they're big piles. So that's going to become firewood for us as well.
So interesting question, Sue. Neither do we. What we actually like, I actually use the GPS on my phone.
Yes, hi.
To sort of give a rough idea. There is actually there's 2 trees that are marked. One was marked by the loggers when they logged, and that's his boundary. And then one a little bit further in is one that I marked as being on that GPS line. And there's about I'd say about 20, maybe 30 feet, maybe it's only 20, about a 20-foot difference between the two. And the reason for that is because when they are logging, if they're logging up against private land, they will take out up to that area and give a space for people to, for those trees to sort of like border the properties. So we don't have any specific landmark that we've seen or pointed out in videos, but I'll try and make a point in one of the next videos of pointing out where that is.
Yes, hi.
And making it more noticeable. Okay, Remy, you need to stop. Stop. You cannot have beer. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. Go get your lobster. Go get your. You're going back outside.
Yeah, we're going back outside.
We're going back outside.
Come on.
Sorry. He's just too excitable and he can't calm down, so he's got to go outside. Which he doesn't hate, by the way. I mean, like he's on a 20-foot tether out there, so he can sort of run back and forth and harass the cat. Remy, not Sandy. But that's funny. No, that's Remy. 100% Remy. So yeah, but and stick around. We got cake as well, and we have gifts to open. But yeah, we're excited for that. But yeah, so I will try and remember to better landmark the entrance to the property. Yes, we love Remy very much too, but he is a handful. He really can be a handful, especially when he's like moods like this where he just won't calm down. It's really hard, especially because it's weird because like it often hits like late at night just when you're trying to like go to bed, and then he'll get all rambunctious and want to play and want to chew at you and things like that. And I mean, like he's had a lot of outside time today. I mean, when we go into the property now, one of us will work near him. So today it was me, and he was like, no, it's all mine now. So and he was running back and forth, and I was throwing sticks for him and things like that. So I mean, like he should be tuckered out, is what it should be. But like I said, the person that came looking for their rope kind of excited him and got him all worked up again.
Yes. Well, and the cat's out there. She's making a big scene right now.
Yes.
So that's probably going to get him worked up again too.
Yes, which is great, But
yes, we can.
Yes, we can do that. So we're going to open. Actually, we should open cards first.
Okay.
Don't have a ton in the mail, but it's for you.
Yes.
You go first. Now,
These are actually from my mom.
And full disclosure, we have opened it and removed something from it already.
Yes.
So,
but these are actually and yes, thank you. These are actually on the cards. I know you can't see it very clearly, but these are photos that we've taken of sunsets and that sort of thing out here. So,
which is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Really appreciate that.
And should we do that?
Yes, do that one
first.
Okay. Cards.
So yes, this came with the cards.
I've been dying, absolutely dying. Oh, thank you, Sue. Have you seen that? That video is going crazy. There's like 1,500 views on it. Like, that's just insane. Which is kind of cool. I've taken a bit of negative comments there too, which is a bit frustrating, but oh, you should have done this and you should have done that. And it's like, well, I used what I had.
Yeah.
So thank you. It does work well.
Yeah, it's been really good.
It has been really good. So
so this is also from my mom.
Yes.
And she told us what was in it, and it's been very difficult to not go into it because we know what it is and temptation, but
Carol, I just want to say thank you so much for this lovely gift for me. I really appreciate it. For me, chocolate is the most important meal of the day. And yeah, so thanks very much.
Yeah.
I will enjoy this greatly. I promise you I will share.
The thing is, you go to bed before I do, so good luck getting
I'm going
it
to
by
hide
the next morning.
I'm gonna
In here, you're going to hide.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's like trying to find anything in here. How many times we've gone like, this place is only so big.
Yes.
It's got to be here somewhere. And we have no idea what those are.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol. Really appreciate that. Do you want to open that one?
Yes. So this one comes from my aunt in Scotland. And I believe it's cards in here, but we will find out. Okay. There are actually three. It might be from my cousin as well, potentially. All right, so this is for both of us. And that is for you on the 2nd of October, so that's past. Okay. And this is for me on the 7th of October, so I don't know if I should actually open it now or not.
But I wonder if
But we have one for both of us, so why don't we do that first?
Are you sure? Yeah, do the both of us one.
Oh, be quiet, Remy.
Yeah, he's barking at the cat.
Is it the cat or is it just barking?
Well,
oh, that's kind of perfect.
Oh, that's cool. Show the picture. Please. Look at the picture. How cool is that? That's really cool. And yes, Sue, don't worry. I saw your comment. I'm going to hide it in my belly. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to read it? Or no?
Well, I can. I'm just reading it first. Proofreading. Not that it needs proofreading. But to Sandy and Desmond, when I saw this card, I thought of you. A rather idealized image, I know, but hopefully it catches some of the pleasure and freedom of your life in Northern Ontario. I hope your plan to add a small cabin will come together sometime soon, and you'll have more comfort this winter. Then in time, you'll have a more spacious home and one or two lovely greenhouses. Thank you, Rosa, for that.
Thank you. That's really cool. I like that card.
Yeah, it's a really nice one.
I'm going to open mine now. Don't like tearing envelopes.
We can also discuss this, as always said, but my aunt has some of the nicest writing you will ever actually see.
So this is the card.
Yes, it is.
I like it. To Desmond, wishing you a very happy birthday and a successful, productive year ahead. Hoping a few dreams. I have to learn how to read this writing. I'm really good at reading my mom's writing, interestingly enough, but I can never read anyone else's. Hoping a few dreams come true. like growing lots of vegetables and fruits, and perhaps even some sunflowers next summer. Warmest regards, Rosa and Sarah. Thank you so much. And yes, absolutely. Just to talk about sunflowers, because this is one of the things I want to do. Did you know that if you go to Home Depot and you buy the big bucket, the like huge bucket of sunflower seeds, like the black oil sunflower seeds, you can just like scatter them and they will grow like 100%. Mm-hmm. So that is my plan. I want to have a whole area that is just sunflowers. And for a couple of reasons. One, because they're beautiful and they're really good for pollinators. But down the road, they're also really good for chickens and chicken feed. And I mean, sunflower seeds
and
are
also
tasty.
Sunflower oil.
And sunflower oil and things like that.
Which is actually really quite easy to get out of them.
Yes, it really is. So, yeah, so we're really, really looking forward to that. So,
somebody's driven by on the road, and so the dog's going to start going nuts in a second.
But yes, it will definitely be good for the bees. We are actually hoping to have a whole bunch more stuff planted next year, including flowers and sunflowers and things like that. So that'll be exciting. Which way did they drive? In or out? Yeah. So I mean, the joys of being here is we can't actually see who's driving, but we can see like a vehicle go past some bushes. So yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for the gifts and cards. That's really appreciated.
Those are amazing.
We do have another gift that I'm not going to open because we're going to do this on a video. This one is actually for Remy, and we're going to do this not on a live. We're going to do an actual video on this, so that will happen in the next week or so. So that one is still sealed. This back here. Yes, I can just keep it in my belly. It's fine.
That's okay.
Is it there?
I think so.
So yeah. So other than that, what else has been going on? Oh, now he's crying because he wants to come inside.
If you can behave.
You want to try? We'll try one more
time.
We
both have to take a huge sip of the beer before he comes back in.
Dutch courage is what it is. Yeah, soul Dutch courage. He absolutely cannot have cake. It's got chocolate in it. So, can you behave this time?
Probably not.
So, yes, we have just had beer, Remy. Enough now. Other than that, like it's been getting colder for sure, but at least it's been sunny. Supposedly, we're supposed to have this big aurora tonight. Can you stop that, please?
That's a no.
Thank you, Sue. So it's supposed to be an aurora tonight. So of course, what's going to happen is that as soon as the sun is completely down, the clouds are going to come over, so we can't see anything. So because that's what's happened every single time there's been any kind of like solar storm, and we're supposed to be able to see the auroras, we have managed to get overcast weather. So apparently he's a booze hound. Like I don't know what that's about. But yeah, he's again very excitable and enough. Hey.
Enough. Thank you. Sort of. That was the weirdest facial expression.
Yes, he does get those every now and then. Like when you tell him he's adopted.
Yes, hi.
Okay. No, enough.
All right, calm.
Come on. Come down.
Come over here.
Come here.
It's okay.
There we go. Yeah, so he can be a bit of a handful. Like I said, he doesn't do this most days until we do a live.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the car is driving out now, so he should go nuts
Yeah,
again.
he's going to go nuts any moment. We can hear, but I'm sure you cannot.
He handled that rather well.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yeah. Usually he's way more vocal.
Yes.
But I mean, then again, like he didn't even react to that dude coming up here until the dude was here and knocked on the door.
I didn't even know he was coming in.
Yeah, like, I mean, there was nothing. But that was when he was docile and sleeping.
Yeah.
So that would be why, you know. He is very, very concerned that there is vehicular noise out there. No. They can't right now. So if you remember where we were parked before, so before we moved to camper the last time, we were right by the road. And right now, the truck is parked there because the truck got stuck on this path going out. So we actually had to park it down by the road. And so, no, they're not actually driving onto the property or onto this trail.
Yeah.
The dude earlier walked down here. And I actually think it's that guy it was the guy that was on that ATV that time.
Okay.
I think that's who.
I'm not 100% sure, but I was almost thinking it was the couple that came in with their camper.
No.
A few weeks ago. He looked similar to him, but
definitely. No, I don't think so.
No idea.
Yeah. But no, so they didn't. We still have to do we will, like, eventually once we're in and settled and stuff like that, we will actually apply for a permit to put up a sign on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That will say, you know, private property in 700 feet or 800 feet or something. And then we'll have our own trespassers sign on the property itself to stop people from trespassing onto the property.
Not that I think it's going to be a huge issue, but but with people doing a lot of sort of at certain times of year coming in on their ATVs and hunting and that kind of thing, it does kind of. I know I'm behind the dog here now. Now that we've sort of cleared the path here, it does kind of open it up as sort of looking like a more ideal spot for people to go down with their ATVs. So we just want to make sure that they're deterred from actually doing that. But
you're gonna have to stop them from coming down there.
Yes, I know. Well, easier said than done.
Stop. Oh my goodness.
Has hunting season started? Yes, it has.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
We haven't seen or heard a ton of it, but
first week of September, I believe.
This is not for you.
Yeah, so it has started, and before that was bear season. So there were actually people in here doing bear hunting. Oh, thank you. Hi, Ben, I assume, or Ben and Nicole. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, I'll put that back.
Have to come back outside again.
One more time.
All right.
That's okay.
Let's go.
While he's outside, we can do cake.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's going to be very tricky to do with him in here.
Oh.
So, hi, Ben. Hope you're healing okay, but like that was really scary. I am glad that you are okay.
Thank you.
If anyone was watching this and doesn't follow Ben and Nicole, please do so on Facebook and Instagram and all the places. They also have a Patreon, as do we, if you haven't joined that yet. There is a free level on theirs. There's a free level on ours as well. And we would absolutely love to have you guys follow them and follow us. So, oh man. So Ben was rototilling, and the rototiller went over his leg. And yeah, so that was pretty scary. But very glad that you are okay, Ben. Very glad that you joined us. So thank you for that. We appreciate that. And anyone else that just joined, these are our first beers in months. So we were able to, through a kind birthday gift, be able to get some beer, which is nice for a change.
Go on.
Okay, so now we're switching animals. Miss Pollock has now come inside. Are you going to come and say hello? Come and say hello to everyone. See, there's Miss Pollock. She's
got a lot to say lately.
Yes, she's very, very, very vocal. And just Canadian, Ben, just Molson Canadian. Yeah, she is clearly not impressed, and yet she's not even trying to get
saying there.
Happened to my father when he was talking about what happened with Ben.
Oh yes.
Which is and super scary. That was super scary, Ben. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that honey is necessarily the way to fix it, but I know Ben had to get some stitches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just it's just Canadian, Ben. It's our usual go-to brand.
Yes, but it tastes better because I have a Thunderball 007 glass here.
Well, I mean, mine's trying to be Alexander Keith's. So.
Yes, it does now. So it gets. I mean, what is it? Usually, it's about. Well, I mean, the sun is still out. Not the sun, but I mean, the sun is setting until usually about 7:30-ish.
Earlier now. It's earlier now.
But no, because I mean, last night I took him out for a walk, and it was about 7:15.
Yeah, but I mean, the sun itself has gone down now, and we're not.
I know, but that's why I'm saying sunset-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, we've managed to get some decent sunset shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Which is nice, but yeah, it does it. And I mean, the thing is as well, remember, because we're not in the city and we don't have a lot of lights around us, we notice it really quickly, because it's just sort of someone just turned off the light,
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, actually, on the screen here, because what I can see on the computer, it looks darker than it actually is out there right now. It's still a bit more blue than it's showing. It's looking quite dark there behind us, but I mean, the sun is definitely going down at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, we're using the ring light because it was just the best way to get us.
And actually, to say so nights when the moon is more full or that sort of thing, it's not too bad out there. Yeah. But on the nights when the moon isn't out like that, it's actually rather eerie stepping outside because you just walk into outright pitch black. And certainly compared to being in the city, in the city, it's never actually dark. Really. I mean, it seems like it, but it's not compared to out here. And I mean, it's anything, you go out there with a flashlight, and anything that's not in the path of the light, directly in the path of the light, is just blackness. So yeah, it's eerie. It's actually scary eerie. Yes, and I mean, it's not like I don't have a repertoire of horror movies lined up that I've been watching my entire life that come to mind when I step outside. Some of your Nightmare on Elm Street's, Friday the 13th, that sort of thing.
Which I mean, I'm not into horror movies, so I'm fine.
Yeah, but he's had to sit through a few of them since we've been living out here.
Yes.
You liked Dr. Sleep.
I did. It was cool.
That was a good one.
But yeah, still not a big fan of horror movies.
Yeah, but I made you a Neve Campbell fan with the Scream movies.
Well, I mean, I was always a Neve Campbell fan.
Yes.
Even without that. Do you want to do cake?
We can do cake.
Okay. So I
will get it set up because
I spend hours and hours and hours baking. Okay, that's not true. But let me just take the label off anyway. Yeah, we were not going to bake in here. It's too
not a cake anyway.
Not a cake anyway. It's just too much
elaborate.
Quite elaborate to do. I don't know how you get it like that. I guess
you just
it's actually stuck on there. But yeah, so we just like splurged a bit and bought one. Have you guys compost pile? No, we haven't yet. So right now, Ben, because of where we're going to be placing the camper, it's going to be nowhere near where we ultimately want to be set up. It's going to be quite far towards the edge of the property where we actually want to be more central. So we haven't really started doing any of that kind of stuff yet. Will we down the road? Absolutely. What is chip drop? Because I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up. Unless you want to tell me, but I don't know what it is. Okay. I mean, we'd love to have a wood chipper. I know that because that would help. Chip drawers are cool. Arborists. Yes, that might be a good idea. I'll have to have a look and see if there are any locals. Because around here, most people are miners. Apparently, there's a lot of mines around here.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Cake time.
Cake time.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Cookies and cream cake, too.
Before dinner.
Before dinner.
This is dinner. Dinner is dessert.
Yeah. Or you can have dinner and I'll just carry you cake.
Either way.
Yeah. I like that idea a lot, Ben. I definitely am going to look into that. Very, very much so.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. Oh, please do. It'll be actually really interesting to find out how much people are paying for these, because this one was $7.99. Was it $8.99?
I don't think it was that much.
Oh yeah, it was.
Nope.
Yeah, it was like $7 or $8.99 for this. So yeah, we'll definitely take some of those, man. This is a nice treat. We don't splurge very often, so. It's insane. Because we're in such a small town, there's one grocery store. That's it. And that's a Loblaws. It's a Fresh Mart.
Yeah.
And the prices of things are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, I get we're far north and kind of that sort of stuff. And I know that even where we are, like far north, like the gas price is high.
Yeah. It is going down slowly.
Well, hey, feel free, Ben, to send us some of that pickled beans. Yesterday when we went to yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday, the gas was 161.9. 161.9. It's come down from
when we first got here. I think it was 176.9.
Yeah. So it has come down, but they say that happens when they switch to winter gas. So yeah, it's absolutely, it is. I mean, it's just criminal what the. Thank you, Eric. We are glad we have cake too. Kind of like
it was quite good.
It was actually really good. I mean, for a freezer cake kind of thing.
Yes.
We didn't have to make it. I didn't have to clean up after it, so that's okay too.
Yes.
So now that the cat is inside, she now wants to go back outside to go chase things that she can't catch.
No, she just wants attention.
And attention. You can sit there looking like a Bond villain now.
Yes. Well, I have my James Bond glass going.
Exactly. She looks very happy.
Yes.
Anyone got any other questions for us?
Was that my phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is.
The biggest concern, Ben, is that we don't want to track bears right now. There are quite a few of them around.
I don't know how good they taste.
I could really take that out of context right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to behave. Again, I'm going to behave. Stop putting words in my mouth. I'll happily take your recipe for it, though.
And actually, yeah, we think we've seen some evidence of bears getting a bit closer to here again. Not that we haven't seen them on the property already.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to put him to work.
Yes.
No rest for the wicked. You know what's interesting? So, yes, Ben, only black bears. So, good question, Carol. We have seen moose track. 100% have seen moose tracks when we were still like the first spot that we landed when we landed here. Not in Cochrane, but here near the property. We've seen the tracks. Never actually seen a single moose or deer.
No.
We've seen fox. We've seen
lots of fox.
We've seen the fart squirrel.
The skunk, yeah, we could do without that again.
And we've seen bears. But we have not actually seen deer, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. And I was really expecting that we were going to end up seeing at least the moose, because when we first came into the property, there was numerous places where you could see their leavings.
Yeah.
So I figured we would definitely end up having a run in there, but we haven't seen anything of them. And actually, the last time we even saw the moose tracks around was like May or June sometime, and that was over at the first. But oh my goodness, the amount of fur that comes off this cat. That was when we were parked in the first spot when we first got over here. So since then, we just haven't really seen anything like any evidence of them whatsoever.
Yeah. Definitely don't want to see the fart squirrel again, though.
No, I don't want to see the skunk again at all. That was horrible. I've never smelled anything so foul in my entire life. And I mean, it's not like I haven't come across a skunk before, but spraying Remy and getting it up close like that was just like that was some other kind of nightmare.
Yeah, that is. What, Remy?
Speaking of,
we're gonna have to move your plate.
Yeah. All right, you hop down. You guys are gonna want to switch places, I imagine. Oh. Okay, but can you behave?
Yeah. Can you behave?
Yeah, I know you're all riled up over nothing.
No, actually, interestingly enough, Carol, we have not seen lynx.
There was the one instance though. When was that? Was that we were still parked at the other place? Yeah.
So that there was that one incident where you come tell the story. Could you tell?
Well, there wasn't a whole lot to tell particularly about it. Yes, hi. It was at night. He had just gone to bed. Remy was in the bedroom with him. And we could just hear and we knew what the lynx sounds like. So it just started screaming at the top of its lungs, and it was very close. Like I think it actually came up to the camper door, and it was obviously interested in the cat here. She was on high alert for it. She didn't make any noise. He was barking at it, which I think is what actually scared it away. But I mean, it let out quite the series of cries and that sort of thing, and we could definitely hear it right up at the door. But even at that point, like I didn't even think to really properly look out the window and try to see it. It was more of a let's just try and deter it from coming up here and getting aggressive, because I'm pretty sure that was a mating call that it was letting out.
No doubt.
So
I mean, the only other animals that we've heard, we had that one incident with like what we assumed to be wolves
the other night.
Yeah,
when they were calling out.
Yeah, when they were like down that way.
I thought they were down that way. Either way, a couple of nights ago, and that was actually, it was cool, but that was incredibly eerie. Again, that was almost horror movie-ish, because it was a whole pack of them, and they were all howling at the same time, and we're not sure if it was wolves or coyotes, but that was eerie.
One of the things I interesting enough, Ben, talking about coyotes. I watched a video, and this old farmer said, you never shoot coyotes, because if you shoot the male, what will happen is an older male coyote will learn what is allowed, what's not allowed, and that there's a dog or whatever to protect the property, and they'll actually leave your livestock alone and just focus on the sort of wild animals. But if you shoot that male, what will happen is 7 or 8 other males will move into that area who don't know those rules. And so they'll start eating your livestock and stuff like that. So I don't know. It was an interesting video. Some old farmer talking about his experience with coyotes. So I don't know that we have any here. I haven't seen any. We've definitely seen foxes.
We know we're pretty sure there's wolves, though, because of the leavings on the road. And that's kind of that's a very different aspect you don't really think into with the whole living out here thing, is that suddenly you find yourself taking photos of poo on the road and trying to identify which animal through Google Lens and stuff it is. But yeah, that's happened many times, and that's how we sort of actually have identified which animals have been around.
Yeah.
And that's why we know that there's probably wolves in here. And I mean, it was like wolves or coyotes. It was some kind of dog like that was howling the other night, because I certainly know that kind of a howl from movies and stuff. I just haven't quite heard it in person before.
Yeah, it's quite different when it's in person.
Yeah.
There's a cool place called Ben called Fur the North. They're somewhere up here. They do some pretty cool stuff. You should check it out. Why are you still so excitable?
Because.
Is there like a Valium you can give a dog? Yeah, we'll undoubtedly see a lot more tracks in snow. I actually am looking forward to when they're shedding.
Put you out again.
And dropping antlers and stuff like that.
Come on.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, there's a lot of like sort of little industry like that, and especially like this local guy, does tanning and things like that. So that'd be pretty cool. Sorry, Sandy's taking Remy outside again. Yes. There's a lot of things people can't picture me doing, but there's a lot of things I can do that people have no idea that I can do. And we are definitely not getting into that discussion right now, Ben. Definitely cannot reverse a camper. I freaking hate reversing trailers of any kind. Absolutely hate, loathe, detest it. That's why I can't wait to get this camper in place so that I never have to do this camper again, ever. I'm just not good at it. I just am absolutely not good at it. Right, there you go. I could just hear Remy going absolutely ballistic out there. Just leave your boots on.
No.
At this point. Yes.
He thinks we're playing a game.
Right, of course. I have watched very little of it, Ben. I would actually like to watch more of it. To be honest, lately, I haven't been watching a lot of YouTube and stuff. I should watch more. I really do need to. Okay, cool. I'll check that out.
Have you responded to my mom's yet?
Which one? About the cousin?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's cool. I didn't, but because we were talking about you, because Ben said that he didn't think that I could skin an animal.
Oh.
I mean, like, I think I'm less squeamish than you are.
Yeah, it would depend. I mean, when I did chef training, we had to do a bunch of butchery classes. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's kind of interesting because, I would love that. I would actually really enjoy that. We are, it's so weird because, like, there's so many homesteaders, there's so many off-grid people, and there are so many stories out there. And everyone sort of like, there's this idea in everyone's mind that everyone is going to follow this path or this formula or this way of doing things. And it kind of like became like, so the last video that I posted, which is the one about the water catchment system that's doing so well. I noticed how many people were jumping on, not a ton, but there were people that are jumping on going, well, why don't you just use this? Why don't you just use that? And why don't you just do that? It's like, well, because I didn't have these items on hand. What I had was pop bottles, and so I used them, and it worked. And it's not pretty, and it's not, the best thing out there, but it's everyone's journey is so different, and so it is nice to sort of be able to tell our story, and we're trying. Every day is a struggle sometimes because the biggest thing is that I so often we've done so much clearing and so much clearing videos.
Yeah.
We don't want to just keep posting people watching us simply clear because it gets boring. It's boring for us, right? Ben, the thing is that our town is so small.
Yeah.
There's maybe 2 dumpsters that I've seen. We drive by the back of Home Hardware and we pick up scrap wood and pallets when they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even the last 4 or 5 times we've been past, there's nothing.
Yeah.
So there's really not a lot in the way of dumpsters, unfortunately. Now, once we've done our projects where we can actually not just focus on getting the camper in and building the room and all that kind of stuff, we have more time to sort of go to towns and close by.
Yeah, that's
different. We could do that, more. But we don't want to make the same video over and over again, and so that's why we now our content is 2 weeks. The next one will be 3 weeks.
Yeah,
right. Because there's just what else are we going to show? We want to show you the exciting parts.
Yeah.
We don't want to show you the same boring. We're cutting down trees today. We're cutting grass today.
For the 1,000th time.
Yeah, everyone's seen that. That gets boring after a while. So, But yeah, I mean, it's. I hear you. I don't
close the blind because that ring is
driving you,
bothering me. Without causing an avalanche here. Good.
Oh, look, it's much better. There. It looks way prettier. We definitely don't like making the same video every time. So
yeah.
And that's why it was kind of nice to be able to do a project video and do the rain catchment thing. But we're spreading out our videos a bit more because they get boring after a while. That's fair.
True.
Thank you. I think I would also like to sort of try and delve a bit more into our experience.
Yeah.
As part of our videos instead of just this is what we're doing kind of thing. Because I mean there's a lot of mental, emotional, and physical changes that have happened for both of us since being out here, and it's astounding to me that we have been here for 10 months.
Yeah.
That's just when did that happen?
Well, we haven't been here.
Yeah, we're here. But I mean, you're not
doing this whole thing.
Yeah, not in the city.
A year now.
Not in the city, and not doing the daily grind and all that kind of stuff. And there have been times where it's been really hard, emotionally and mentally, and so on and so forth. And sometimes the physical thing. But I mean, the amount of physical changes we've had. For both of us. What's the biggest thing we've learned so far? Ooh, that's a you question.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
That's a both of us question.
For me, every project that you do, no matter what the project is never going to happen in the time you think it's going to happen.
Yeah, that is one thing. I think, I don't know. Patience.
Yeah.
And, and I think also forgiveness with yourself, because you don't get anywhere just beating yourself up for not getting where you wanted to right away. And like he says, there's a lot of stuff that it takes way longer than you think it's going to. I mean, even the clearing here, as boring as it's been, I mean, you sort of go oh, well, we'll just have that cleared in like a day or two and no problem. And then 3 weeks later, and you're kind of like, okay, we're halfway. Great. Like, um, but it's just kind of the like, it is that patience thing, trying to just not kind of go to pieces because everything doesn't come together right when you think it's supposed to or going to.
And the one thing I've noticed, like, I mean, so when we've been working like the last couple of weeks, I've been very conscious of not checking my phone.
Yeah.
And checking the time, because when you're doing that, when you're constantly looking at your phone and you're looking at that, you're putting yourself on a schedule.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself on like, how many hours have I done? I've done this in the last hour. I've only done this in half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas instead, if I've sort of like not done that, I find I become more productive.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going like, well, it's been, that must have been 10 minutes. How long have I been going?
Yeah.
I'm just doing stuff, so definitely it's a big difference, I think. But
Like,
yeah.
Something else we've learned is what it's like to live in such close quarters with it's 4 of us in here.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, I suppose the cat is more kind of like a half.
Yeah.
But even still, I mean, it's that's been a huge change from, I mean, especially the last house we were in Calgary, right?
Yeah.
That was like a 4-level split.
Yeah.
What was it? 3 bathrooms.
Yeah.
3 bedrooms, and like a couple of living rooms, a couple whatever else's, and then we left that, and now we're into like a couple of feet of space between us and then the dog. And I mean, we still managed, like, it's been fine.
He hasn't killed me yet, so that's good.
Not yet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, that's been a very big learning curve. But I mean, like, physically, interestingly enough, things that have changed is like, for me, I have lost almost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Since January.
You've gone down almost 10 waist sizes.
Yeah.
Since we left Calgary.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
feel free to send clothes, because I could only punch so many more holes in my belt. Yeah. So I mean, like, that's quite something. And I mean, like, I've taken my blood pressure meds and I've had the dose. Because what was happening was I was wanting to pass out and keel over because my blood pressure was dropping so low. So I stopped doing that, and like, now I'm fine.
Yeah.
My blood pressure is stabilized. It's been great. So that's a good change.
And the cholesterol probably too.
And the cholesterol as well. So
I've actually put on a few pounds, I think, since we've been here, but like, it's kind of the same thing. It's sort of like, because I've gone the other direction, so it's good when I'm sort of a little more filled out and that sort of thing.
Thank you, Sue. You guys make any friends in Hootabil's municipal yard? I'm sure they. Not yet. We've made a couple of local friends, and I have a couple of contact numbers for people that do gravel and that kind of stuff. Local companies, local businesses. But so again, you have to remember that the minute I do that, the minute I ask for gravel or anything like that to just be dumped, I need a permit. So right now, everything we've done so far, and even if we do a corduroy road over those mushy parts, I do not need a permit from the Ministry of Forestry and Natural Resources. Mm-hmm. Natural Resources and Forestry, MNRF. Because we are clearing an existing trail. The moment that I start pulling in a truck load of gravel or anything, aggregate or base or anything, I require a permit. Now, the good news is that the permits don't cost anything. The bad news is that they can take anywhere from 6 months to 18 months to get approved. Plus, you then have to have the ministry out here, up in your face about where you're doing it, how you're doing it, what you're building. They want to know absolutely everything about the construction of that road. So down the road, yes, we're 100% going to do that. But right now, once we get on the property, different story. If we can get on the property and find gravel or quarry rubble, that kind of stuff, absolutely, we'll take it. But as far as the actual road coming in goes, we simply cannot do that.
Yeah,
we just simply cannot do that. Yeah. So, but good question. It's frustrating as well. I mean, like not being our land that the road goes through. So.
We've talked about that a little bit. We've both sort of hit points here where we kind of said maybe we should have waited a little bit longer. Yeah. That was sort of our only real thing, and not in like a phenomenal amount of time, but our initial plan for moving out here, we weren't actually going to come out until the spring in the first place in terms of moving out of Calgary.
Yeah.
And circumstances, the job he was in especially, just kind of pushed things ahead a bit for us, but also there was our rent was going up there. And we were really concerned that what was going to happen is that all the money that we had sort of initially allotted for this was suddenly going to be depleted on trying to maintain the raise and the rent. And we were really kind of, like we really didn't want to have to do a whole, goodness, that dog. We didn't want to have to do a whole move in the city, downsize everything else, only for a couple of months, and then uproot everything and move again and that sort of thing. But we still have kind of considered that perhaps we might have actually ended up doing that instead before making the move out here. So potentially that would be, I think, be the only thing.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I think maybe we consider we might have bought before we made the move, if it were possible. Like, I think it would have been good to have sort of already had the generator, or whatever else, just things like that coming in. But I mean,
I think the thing is, it's like, I mean, originally when we first,
okay, so that dog is about to
he's going to like
tip the camper over. So
when we first bought the property and stuff, we were going to the plan originally was for like 2 or 3 years of sort of saving and scrimping and saving and stuff like that, and we were kind of in this sort of like very stable spots where my work was stable, that kind of stuff, and Sandy was doing his artwork and stuff like that, and that would have been one thing. But yeah, I mean, like the curveballs that got thrown at us were things like the sudden rapid increase in cost of food and in cost of everything. I mean, like utilities and gas and food and rent and things like that. And then the rent, and everyone knows this. Everywhere, both Canada and the United States have all experienced this, where there's this humongous increase in those costs, and wages not keeping up. So it became very clear to us when we actually experienced a 38% increase in rent within 1 year. So our rent went up in May, and then we got the next notification in October of the rent increase. So that sort of like jolted us, and that sort of put us on we're going to do this now path, because I knew very well that, with a 38% raise in rent within under a year, plus the crazy amount that food and everything was costing. Thank you. My salary was not going to go up, and I was right. I mean, like, my salary went up 2%, and so there's a disparity there. So yeah, I mean, like, just having more money and being more prepared would have been good. The last winter really wiped out a lot of our finances, and we really did think that we would be in here quicker. We actually thought very much that we would be able to get into the property quicker and easier, which we weren't able to do. So yes and no. I think that our rushed exit from Calgary put us back, because financially it pulled us back. At one point when we were traveling here, the gas price was $1.78 a liter. One place where we filled up, and stuff like that. So those costs just exponentially went up as we were traveling across the country. And then, as everyone knows, the big drama was that our furnace died almost immediately upon hitting Ontario. And so, yes, exiting Calgary potentially has ended up delaying us in some ways.
Yeah.
Certainly from a financial aspect. Having said that, if I weigh that against the benefit of actually, like, health and mental health and physical health, there's the disparity is gone.
Yeah.
Because the mental health and the physical health, especially the mental,
Can I sit down, please?
I cannot reiterate enough to you how big a deal.
No, that's not
Remy, stop that. Come on. I cannot reiterate enough how much mentally not going to a dead-end job where it was really stressful, and I was doing the work of 3 or 4 people, and taking on an enormous responsibility that I could never turn off, because I was in charge. I was the person that everyone went to with every single problem, and that wears on you. That really does wear on you mentally and emotionally. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't think that. I think that if I had tried to stay there for another year or two, I would be in a way worse position already than I am now. Mentally, emotionally, and so on and so forth. So he's on his story now. Yeah, I think, and that's okay. It's Carol, good point. I mean, like, thank you. I think the thing for us is like, it's like ripping off the Band-Aid, right? Like, okay, this is what I've been dealt, and well, okay, I have a plan. It's not ideal. It's the same as when people have kids. You're never really ready for them. Same as when you have dogs. You're never really ready for them, and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, it is very much, there's never a good time. And to be honest, I kind of wish that we had been able to do it earlier.
Yeah, me too.
Even, it's, I was hoping for that lottery win when I was like 25. So, but
But no, I mean, and I think that's worth saying, because I think probably really could have left Calgary about halfway into our time that we actually spent there
100%.
and been okay with that. Like,
Yeah.
I think we, in a sense, overstayed our welcome. And there are a couple of people there. Sue, you're one of them. Mitch is another. I don't know if he actually checked in tonight or not, but who made all the difference for us being
and
there.
I mean, there's individuals, right, that really have made a difference.
Yeah, but in terms of our personal state of mind, mental health, what have you, whatever, I think we probably could have cut our time living in Calgary in half, because I think we were stagnating there.
Yeah.
For the last little while. I mean, 100%. We made a move at one point to a different house there, and that was initially quite a great thing, but sort of the novelty of that wore off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I think too, when you've got a plan like this in mind, nothing really feels like it's working anymore until you kind of make that change or whatever.
You start living for that hope. You start living like, oh, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing that. And it's, I mean, like, and we're still experiencing that, because I mean, like, even now, it's like, I don't want to be clearing, I want to be building. Yeah. Right? It's the same kind of thing. But it is very hard. You know, you sort of sit there and you go, you know, yeah, and that's exactly it. I think yes, it just so happened all these things had to happen in a certain order for it to get where it got. Yeah. I think the thing is like, you know, you sit there at work and you end up going through the motions over and over again and go, I am so done with this bullshit. Right? And you just like, I am done. I can't do this anymore. I can't handle this stress anymore, or this whatever. Yeah. You know, and I mean, like, I was working, you know, a customer service retail job, industrial retail. And you know, you sort of look at some of these people that come in and it's just like, why am I putting up with this? Because it's not making me rich. Yeah. It's making someone else rich, who doesn't even appreciate the work I do. So when you start having this plan and you start having this beautiful goal of the things you want to do and the things that you would like to do and the things you've planned in your head for so long, and these things start falling into place, you're like, okay, let's go. Let's rip off the band-aid. Let's do it. You know, so it made it really hard to sort of stay where we are. Yeah. Well, exactly. And I think, you know, that's, you know, and that is so true. And I think, you know, if you wait till the time is right, it'll never happen. Yeah. And I think that that's a huge lesson so many people can learn, not just in what we've done, but in life in general, right? If you wait until the perfect time, it's never going to happen for you. It is absolutely vital that you are willing to say, okay, this is it. I'm going to do this, and realize that it comes with struggles and it comes with hardships. Yeah. You know, and we've been really fortunate. We've had some incredible support from incredible people. And we are always grateful for that. No, Simon. But you know, we are just so fortunate that there are people that support us. Yeah. We have definitely had amazing angels, for lack of a better term, throughout this whole year that have helped us. And the crappy thing for us is that we know that it's not forever. Right now, it's needed, right? So the help that we constantly are asking people for, and that people are providing to us, is not a forever thing. Yeah. Once we're set up, once we are where we need to be, and we know it's going to take time and things like that. We know that we can be as self-sufficient as possible, and that is what the goal is. It just so happens that right now we are not in that position yet.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. And again, because of amazing people who've been able and willing to support us, and we absolutely appreciate that all so very much. And a lot of you that are in here are those people, and we absolutely are incredibly appreciative.
Yes.
Of you.
Yes, I like that quote from my mom.
Yes, I like that. I don't know. I hope these comments actually show up after the live. They're supposed to, I think.
I think so.
Know.
I don't know. You know YouTube better than I do.
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't know. But I hope they do, because otherwise it just looks like we're answering random questions that don't actually exist.
But I think you can get the gist of what we're
I think so,
about
yes.
anyway, or responding to.
Yeah. Oh, we've actually been on for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yes.
That's crazy. And you guys are still here. That's amazing. We still got 13 viewers. That's incredible. Yes, we are. So is Remy. And his bacon lobster. He's got a weird fluff on the end of his nose.
It's probably from anything.
Anything.
It's probably the cat. I'm even going to try and give an explanation for it.
Well, thank you very much, Carol and Sue.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated. Yeah, if anyone else got any other questions, Ben asked all these deep questions.
Okay. Like, do you really need that to go dipped in the cat litter?
Everything.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ben, if you ever want to, I'm sure we can set up like a Zoom or something like that if you want. Well, I'm not sure about best reality TV yet, Carol, but we'll work on it. I promise. I think that the winter is going to be an interesting thing. Trying to keep content going.
Yeah.
Because I know that there are going to be a lot of days where we won't be able to do much.
No, but I mean, I'm sure it will present some interesting things here and there.
Well, Ben, you'd be very welcome. Absolutely. Just at the moment, you're going to have to bring yourself a tent. So if anyone's looking for a business opportunity, there's not even like a motel or anything in Matheson. Like nothing.
It's like, what is there? We should say what's actually in town here. It's easier than saying what isn't in town here. So there's a general store. There's a convenience store.
So wait, no. If you're saying general, you're talking about the everything store?
No, I'm talking about Tanny's.
Okay. So there's a general store, which is Tanny's, and it's convenience curios. What do you call it? Like touristy things.
Like trinkets.
And all that kind of stuff. And caps. they have a lot of caps.
A lot of caps.
They do ice cream. They do pizza. They do fried chicken.
The fried chicken I particularly like.
Yeah,
and we haven't had it often. I mean, we don't really splurge that much on takeout or anything.
Yeah.
But on a couple of occasions, we've been able to. And I particularly like their fried chicken. So does Remy, apparently, which was less than pleasant.
Yes.
And we've been told, though we haven't tried it yet, that their pizza is
ready.
In Dave's words, it has no business being as good as it actually is.
Yeah.
So we are going to try the pizza. That might actually be a birthday thing for me, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So there's the general store there. There is the Loblaws. There is a convenience store.
Who sell booze.
Yes,
because
now
the Chinese doesn't, I don't think.
I didn't notice
I
it
didn't
there
see it
yet,
there.
but that might have been why they were rearranging all their fridges and stuff.
That's
but
true
I don't
too.
know for sure.
There's an LCBO.
There's an LCBO. There's a Home Hardware. There's a pharmacy.
There's a CarQuest.
At a laundromat.
And then there's a thing called they call it the Everything Store.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Dollarama type thing, but it's not a dollar store. It's like
but they don't sell any sort of food there. And
Yeah.
they have. I think they have ice cream there.
they have
too,
ice cream
but-
there.
But I mean, Dollarama. Dollarama has dog. I swear. Dollarama has canned food and that sort of thing. And the Everything Store doesn't. They're
Doesn't
more
have it.
just kind of like
like hardware and
yeah.
that kind of stuff, and Party
Um,
City kind of stuff too.
And then
So,
there's, as I said, the laundromat. I think they don't have that's where we get our water because they have a sort of water set up there.
Sorry, we do drone on. And then
Is
post
there a
office.
church asking for a friend? Yes, there are a couple of churches in this town. Actually, there is I believe it's a Jehovah's Witness
Jehovah's
one,
Witness.
and then there's
Latter-day
sort of
Saints. And then there's
a standard. I don't know that. I think they're Christian versus Catholic.
Yeah, I
but
don't
I'm
know.
not sure because we haven't really.
we drive past.
We drive past it. But we haven't actually fully paid attention to that one. Really.
Yeah.
It's not too far. It's on the same street as the elementary school, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a curling club. 'Cause that's where the Oktoberfest is. There's a like county fairgrounds or town fairgrounds.
Yeah.
It's across the road.
Who's that
There's a
versus
CarQuest.
There's a library.
There's a
tiny
library,
little
which is like a
library.
house. It's like just a house.
It's kind of cute though. I do want to go in there.
I actually would like to go in there too. And then there's like a community, whatever. I don't know what they call it, but like a community center, like
the town hall.
No, like right by the river,
Oh yes, yeah.
like a little community something or other.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, that's kind of I think just sort of an empty building though that they just open up if they've got an event on there.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like I don't think it's actually an anything really.
Winter. Yes, Sue, there are. Sorry, I'm catching up. Yes, Ben, you need to be able to walk again, and you need to be able to afford it. And why are you doing phone work when you're supposed to be resting? Because I know you're stubborn. There are many videos of people. Yes, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Have you thought about turning to a life of crime? No, actually, we have not thought of that. And I think there's enough people in town that are probably doing that already. Which we're turning to a life of crime.
Oh yes.
Yeah, some of the locals. But no, we have not.
Tempting though it may be.
You need to do it. Yeah. Okay, so about your we need a video of walking around town. I don't know. I have to tell you, we get some of the foulest, dirtiest looks from people in town.
Okay, and I don't want to be entirely rude here or anything, but we were in there yesterday and getting scowled at, and one can't help but question, are you in fact scowling at us, or is that just kind of your face? But
Yeah,
so it's hard to tell.
it is very hard to tell, and it's like
But we are still kind of the new people in town.
Yeah.
So you don't really want to rock the boat too much, so to speak. I mean, I actually don't disagree with that idea. Like, I wouldn't mind sort of showing off town a little bit and that sort of thing. But I think we just want to be a little bit more comfortable and have people a little more comfortable with us.
I mean, like,
that.
technically, remember as well, because of where we are, we don't actually fall into the town, right? So we actually are like outside of the town limits.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's not a big deal. I mean, that's kind of why we live way the hell out here anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
It's, and I mean, we kind of anticipated that might be the way anyway, because again, being new people in town, perhaps living a lifestyle that is not necessarily as commonplace here as one might find it in a city, we knew that there were going to be some who might be a little put off by it or have some difficulty. And I mean, with us, we just we go about our thing, we do our business, and we just kind of sort of try to be as friendly and smile as much as we can.
Yeah.
And
even to the grumpy people.
Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
And I mean, like, there are people that, there are exceptions to those. I mean, there's definitely people that have, sort of like...
Well, certainly the ones who have invited us for Thanksgiving dinner. And
absolutely. So, I mean, like, we're getting there. It's it's a huge Mennonite community. So technically the population is 3,300.
Something like that.
Like 3,300, and like half of that is Mennonite. And so
Remy loves the horses.
Oh, Remy goes absolutely crazy in the truck.
Yeah,
with the horses,
because they go by on their horse and buggies.
Yeah, and he goes absolutely crazy. So I mean, like, it's a... And you're right. We will be the new folk for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
And, the only way we're going to break that is really by trying to be as friendly and be us as we can be.
And we sort of make like I said, the ones who are having us for Thanksgiving and that kind of thing. You just make the friends that you can.
Yeah.
As they come by, and small towns are word of mouth.
Yeah, 100%.
It's small towns are gossipy. That's what they are. So you just you make friendly with who you can, and you let word travel that you're cool.
Well, it's like, I mean, like, if you guys remember, like, just in the spring, we did a video where we slept in the truck overnight on the road, and then the next morning we went into town and we went for breakfast at the restaurant that was open at like 7 a.m. It was like
it's like the only of
7:30. Yeah, there's two restaurants in town.
There's a Chinese restaurant and there's the Cozy Dine.
Oh, there's actually three, because there's one on the highway as well that we haven't been to.
That's yes. But that's a little bit more removed.
Yeah. So, but dead center of town, there's two restaurants. So we go in there to have breakfast and open the door, and first we get there and there's like a whole bunch of trucks, pickup trucks. Obviously all the locals, and it's all the guys. So we walk in, and like the conversation just, like typical movies, right? Conversation just completely stopped, and just sort of stared at us as we sort of like made our way through and found a table, and then they sort of slowly started talking again. It was honestly, it was like being in a movie. It was yeah. So I mean, like, it was difficult. It was different, and it is hard. I mean, like, we're not, neither of us are like flamboyantly gay or anything like that, but
we have our moments.
We have our moments. Like if there's a spider or something, but
the spiders out here are not city. They're like, some of them are not. Well, you're gonna end up in the hospital with them. So
but they're not South African spiders. I mean,
no, I don't need South African spiders anywhere. Nobody needs. South Africa doesn't need South African spiders.
That's true.
Like, those things just shouldn't exist.
Yeah, but so I mean, like, that was certainly very interesting walking into that restaurant.
Yeah,
that was like, and you're right. I mean, like 25 years, if not longer.
But at the same time, too, I mean, besides the few people that we've sort of met out here along this road and stuff, I mean, there's several who are sort of seem to be more starting to recognize us in town. Definitely people that work at places. I mean, I think the one girl at Loblaws is pretty used to us at this point.
Yeah.
The people at the general store, they definitely recognize us because they were very sort of standoffish at first, and at this point they're quite friendly and smiley with us.
Yeah.
There's the one girl that works at Tanny's who knows you
Yeah.
now because of the whole mail situation.
Yeah, and she's actually like called and said, "Hey, I've got a parcel for you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Lil at the post office, she's a very nice lady.
She's a
like
sweetheart.
her quite a lot. And is always super nice to us going in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it takes time, but for sort of the scowling one, well. Yeah, they're always quite nice too at Home Hardware. So thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
So it does take time, but slowly over time, people have sort of for all the ones that scowl, there's a bunch of them who are actually
becoming friendlier.
Are friendlier and on the nicer side with us and that sort of thing. And yeah,
we'll get there eventually. Yes. But I mean, it's typical small town, right? Like there's new people and they don't. Yeah, there's a lot of like sussing out.
Yeah,
and we've joined a couple of the like local Facebook groups. Just so we can see what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Those are interesting.
Yes.
If you're
those are dishy.
that they are.
There was obviously the Matheson has had a bit of a rough year. They had a long labor strike going on there. Actually, on as far as sort of smaller strikes go, it was one of the longest in the country's history, apparently. And they had a real shakeup in their town council and that sort of thing. They had the mayor basically was told to get out.
The ministry came in basically and said this entire council is dissolved.
Yeah,
and you have to have elections. So they just had elections.
Yeah, we weren't a part of that.
No.
But that whole incident was definitely like, let's get the popcorn out for what's going on this Facebook group, because I mean that was like there were some real nasty cat fights going on there, and like that was as I say, it was rather dishy. It was quite entertaining. Perhaps not as much for the people involved, but yeah. So we have sort of an idea of what's going on within the town.
But again, I mean, like, it's even then the groups are only really representing half of the population because like I said, there's a huge Mennonite community here, so which is really interesting as well. I mean, like lots of farms. I know that there's actually a wood mill between here and Cochrane.
Yeah,
it's Mennonite owned and stuff like that.
And actually, I mean, not that we've had too much interaction particularly, but I mean, the Mennonite community certainly seems friendly enough. Out here, I mean, they're certainly good about kind of pulling over, waving, what have you, when you drive by and that sort of thing. Like they see,
even though your dog is snarling at their horses in the back.
Oh, if only he were only snarling at the horses. I mean, he's throwing himself at the window.
He
of the
really
truck
is. Like
shrieking at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much so. Very much so, Carol. Yeah. But yeah. So that's living in a small town. It certainly is interesting. It's a learning curve. So.
Yeah.
Has anyone else got any other questions for us? Theme from Jeopardy, please.
Yes.
Why he couldn't have been this calm the whole live is beyond me. It's calm now.
Ish.
Yes.
Yes. They
very much so.
Are. Although they seem relatively involved within the town. I mean, they're it's weird. They're kind of I mean, they sort of seem to kind of do their own thing and keep separate, but they're also sort of somewhat involved in the town as well. And I mean, they're regularly in there and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, a lot of the kids go to school, right? So you often see them there too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sue. It's been so great. Like I really, guys, it's been so nice to have so many of you join and stay with us. We really appreciate that. And please, if you think about it, please go and hit the like on this. So we have 9 likes, but the more likes, then what actually happens is that YouTube will actually recommend this live to other people who are viewing it after it's finished. So thank you. Let's just throw another one, see what it's up.
Yes.
So thanks for doing that. And guys, thank you again from both of us.
Yes.
For all the messages and the happy birthdays and the support. I mean, like we've really struggled sometimes, but we are we really do appreciate everyone's support and encouragement.
Yeah.
But Mark has a question. Are you guys going to push? Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
yes. We getting so many different reports on when snow is going to happen here. Some people are saying it's going to be like last year. Some people are saying it's not going to be like last year. It's going to be worse. There's a lot of conflicting stuff. Our push right now is to get where we want to be, to get that build done, so that we can get this secured and warmed before winter. Get a wood stove in there and that kind of stuff, so we're not relying on propane because we won't be able to get in and out to town. And that's a subject for another whole video down the road. But yes, that is definitely our plan.
Yeah.
So, again, guys, thank you so much for joining the 3.5 of us. Yeah, we can't wait to see that either.
Yeah.
Feel free, if you're bored, just swing on by, Mark, anytime. Bring a hammer, we'll put you to work. Happily. You're more than welcome. You may just have to bring a tent because, it's already cramped in here. But yeah, we maybe next summer, absolutely, that would be amazing. But guys, we're gonna start winding this down. It's been a little over 2 hours, which was unexpected. I was really only thinking about an hour, like we usually are. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Thank you for hitting that like button. And thank you.
Thanks, man.
We really appreciate it, and thank you very much for the gifts and the cards and the well wishes, guys. We do appreciate all your feedback and your comments and everything on our videos and all our posts. So thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Yes.
And we hopefully will catch you guys very, very soon on the next live. So until then, guys, see ya.
Bye for now.